All right, so what happens when we go through that discovery process? Well, now we need to join a wireless LAN controller, don't we? This is the join process. We've discovered all the different wireless LAN controllers through the CAPWAP process. I now have, let's say, 3 wireless LAN controllers. First, I'm going to look for a primary. If my connection to the primary fails, then I'm going to try the secondary, and then last but not least, my tertiary connection. If I can't connect to any of those 3, well, then what I'm going to look for is a master controller. Now, the master controller will be configured as such, but if I can't get the master controller to respond, so I had all 3 of these. I had a primary, secondary, both those connections failed. And then I had a master controller, but the master controller failed. So let's say I have another, let's change this to 4. So my primary failed, so I tried my secondary. My secondary failed, and then finally my third option, I didn't have a third option in this one. So let's say I have my primary, my secondary, then I had a master controller, and then I just have a random controller here. Okay, so my primary connection failed, my secondary connection failed, master controller failed. All I'm left with is the random controller. Now, what happens next? So you went through the CAPWAP process, you discovered 4 different wireless LAN controllers. We tried the primary, that failed. We tried the secondary, that failed. We tried the master controller, that failed. Now, if there's no responses from any wireless LAN controllers at this point, and I still have some on my list, I'm going to go with the least loaded wireless LAN controller. That is as a percentage number of APs versus allowed APs. So if a controller is allowed 25 APs and it's using 24 of them, that's not good. That's 96% utilization, right? So we would use a less loaded AP. Now, wireless LAN controllers are built differently. Some of them have up to 500 licenses and are only using maybe 250. That's 50%. This number is a percentage. So I would use the 500 capacity wireless LAN controller versus the 25. Even though it only has 24 APs, it is running at 96% of its capacity, whereas the large wireless LAN controller that's running 250 APs but have a licensing of 500 has only 50% utilization. That is less loaded than the lower number of APs assigned to that 25 AP wireless LAN controller.